Beneath the swirl of galaxies and the thrum of human hearts run a silent current, an unyielding tilt towards dissolution known as entropy. It is no violent chaos, but a slow undoing, a measured diffusion of all that once held shape. From the flicker of ancient stars to the fading trace of thought, entropy is the unseen tide that sculpts the cosmos, whispering not of collapse, but of unraveling, gentle and inevitable. This force threads itself through the weave of existence, guiding the fall of empires, the breath of forests, and the arc in every fleeting tale. Entropy is not merely a law etched in physics, but the pulse beneath impermanence, the silent rhythm of all that ascends and wanes. A quiet truth that order is borrowed and beauty often lingers longest at the edge of dispersion. Humanity carves its name into the shifting sands, raising spires to claw the heavens and drafting laws to tether the flow of time. From the ziggurats of Sumer to the gleaming towers of glass and steel, we build not merely to shelter, but to endure, to defy the slow drift of time. Cathedrals rise like prayers in stone, their arches yearning towards eternity. Calendars slice time into order, promising rhythm amidst the swell of chaos. Each act of creation is a gesture of defiance, a fragile bulwark against the great unfolding. Yet, this borrowed order bears a cost. The fortress crumbles, its walls softened by wind and memory. Scrolls decay, their truths lost to mold and silence. Cities grow still, their echoes buried in root and vine. All that is raised with resolute hands is eventually returned, not by man, but by the hush of time. Entropy, however, does not destroy. It simply reclaims, and in that quiet reclamation, the grandest monuments become whispers, dissolving into the very dust from which they rose from. At the heart of the cosmos, a quiet commandment hums, a law neither cruel nor kind, but absolute. The second law of thermodynamics, by definition, is that the total entropy of an isolated system remains constant or increases over time. Simply put, ice cubes melting and aging, unstoppable, yet part of a natural process. Entropy, the silent tally of this diffusion, does not revel in ruin. It marks the soft unweaving, the quiet blending where contrast diminishes and edges blur. This second law promises no great collapse, only an endless drift, each motion, each spark, each dissipating into a vast, unvaried sea as the universe exhales its distinctions into stillness. Across the broad canvas of the earth, entropy moves with a steady hand. Nature, a patient artist, reshapes all that lives and looms. Ice shimmers beneath the morning sun, then melts into streams that carve bones of stone. Forests, rich with green breath, let fall their leaves to decay, feeding the dark soil where silent seeds await their turn. Even stars, sovereign in their brilliance, burn down across the ages. In the crumbling of a log and the dying of a star, the world hums in a single tune. A leaf's collapse, a supernova sigh, all share the same cadence, a quiet surrender that births the next beginning. There is no sorrow in this cycle, for nature does not mourn the old. It falls decay into renewal, loss into bloom. Here, entropy is not a thief, but a guide, drawing the world forward through its endless transformation, where every withered petal carries the promise of return. Along with nature, time moves with silent certainty, its direction carved by entropy's invisible hand. The past lies vivid, moments bound in memory, cities raised, wars waged, and the hands once held. The future, by contrast, is a mist, shapeless and waiting, a field of becoming where structure yields to haze. Entropy draws this arrow forward, pulling the world from the formed into the formless, in a drift that no desire can defy. A vase, once whole, falls into ruin, shards scattered across the floor. No breeze will mend its shape, no moment will reverse its fall. Disorder is not merely probable, it is law. The universe does not rewind, each instant untreads the last, and what was whole becomes fragmented. In entropy's wake, the past preserves its contours, but the future is an ever-dissolving sketch carried forward by a current none can stem. Within the hushed corridors of the mind, memory rises as a delicate stronghold, gathering the remnants of time, stitching coherence from moments that slip. A lover's smile, a skyline at dusk, the refrain of a song once cherished. Each is a fragile flare of order, held briefly against the slow seep of entropy. These recollections anchor the self, lending shape to the soul in a world ever leaning towards cessation. But memory too is no stranger to decay. Names once bright grow dim, their syllables lost in the hush of passing years. Songs stumble into silence, and familiar faces soften into the mist. Like stones once smooth beneath a flowing stream, the mind yields to the same gentle disentanglement. Even identity, built of memory's threads, begin to fray. What we recall fades not in sudden loss, but in the quiet inevitable drifting toward the unremembered. Memory is no citadel, but a tapestry, woven with care, fading and finite, yet still contains unrivaled beauty. Entropy threads its way not only through our nature and time, but through the quiet fabric of human life. Similar to our memory, love, once aflame with promise, settles into hush, its heat diffused into our routine, or cooled by the long space between days. Thoughts, sharp as morning light, lose their edge in the fog of doubt or the press of time. Yet this slow crumbling is not sorrow alone, but the rhythm of being. Friendships fade, not from rupture, but from the slow turn of separate paths. Tongues evolve, shaped by the breath of generations, and ideals, once vivid, melt into ambiguity, reshaped by the demands of the present. Still, within this shifting ground, humanity endures, fashioning meaning from the ephemeral, sculpting beauty from the temporal. Life is not fixed, but fleeting, its resonance drawn not from what is held, but from what slips through. In the far reaches beyond human time, entropy scripts the universe's quiet epilogue, a fate known as heat death, where all dissolves into a vast, unbroken hush. No stars burn, no flames dance, no winds stir in the cosmic deep. Energy, once vivid with motion and meaning, settles into a perfect balance, a stillness where warmth and cold, light and dark, are indistinguishable. This is not an end marked by fire, but by nothingness. Galaxies unspool, their spirals loosening into drifting dust. Black holes, once insatiable, fade into nothingness, undone by time's slow march. Here, in the hush of equilibrium, all movement falters, not from destruction, but from fulfillment of entropy's long arc. It is not a void, but silence, profound and complete, a serenity not of absence, but of unity, where every distinction has softened into peace, and the universe exhales its final breath into stillness. Amid the universe's steady drift to desolation, life rises as a fragile defiance, a brief luminous shaping of order against the dark tide of entropy. A firefly flickers in the vast night, its glow a trembling stand against the void. A painter's hands draw form from formlessness, each line a quiet protest against the fate of time. Consciousness itself gathers chaos into meaning, treading thought into melody, memory into myth. These gestures, though destined to fade, blaze with unmatched intensity. A mother's lullaby, cradling a single instant, hushes the infinite with tenderness. A poet's verse, inked in the shadow of forgetting, presses a fleeting truth into time. This rebellion is not resistance in vain, but a sacred fire, its power drawn from the unavoidability of entropy. Every act of creation, every heartbeat and breath, shines not despite its end, but because of it. A clear, brilliant chord strummed in the universe's quiet unraveling, resonant in its transience. In the hush of a falling leaf, in the flicker of a lover's gaze, beauty emerges not in defiance of entropy, but within its tender breath. The universe's slow waning is not an enemy, but the frame within which all meaning takes shape, casting brilliance on the breath, the fragile and the timeless. Every fleeting pattern, a city's ascent, a melody's echo, and a vow held in silence, gleams all the more because it must pass, a fragile chord sung into the vast stillness that waits beyond. Entropy does not steal significance, it defines it. It outlines the shape of our becoming, reminding us that splendor is born of the ethereal and the finite. As stars dim and stories drift beyond memory, the cosmos offers a quiet truth that to live is to kindle the flame from the void, to gather eternity in the trembling now. In this quiet unfolding, we glimpse a universe not indifferent but poised, its beauty etched in the soft inevitable exhale of all things. And perhaps in that final hush, we do not vanish, but become part of the silence that made everything become. Thank you for watching.